Hello. 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 Laura Ward. Going to work out this morning, and I'm going to describe what I'm doing. I am just starting right now, waking up my arms and my legs, my hands and my feet in a sort of freeness pattern. So I'm trying to work all the possibilities of spiraling, or not all of them, but some of the possibilities of spiraling in my joints. So hands, wrists, shoulders. This is just a hinge joint, that's all they do. But this is a ball and socket, this is a ball and socket, ball and socket, ball and socket. Multifaceted, lots of things going on in our feet and hands, lots of bones, lots of movement, lots of possibility. So I'm trying to play with possibility and movement so that my body has access to a lot of different types of movement. So I'm just starting in this seated position, and I'm thinking of my body like as if I've just landed in my body for the first time, and I'm seeing what it feels like to be in here, what feels good. I'm just going to turn so in case part of me is going out of the frame. So I'm just trying to spiral around, wake up my joints, hydrate the tissue inside my body, give myself more possibility for movement in ways that feel good. So a big key to this is feeling good. Movement should feel good. You shouldn't be moving into patterns that are uncomfortable, and yet we learn so often to do that. So just trying to wake up this sense of expansion and contraction, and sort of a balance between the two of those. So stretching and opening, and then coming back into myself. In movement analysis, we talk about navel radiation, everything radiating away from center and then coming back into center. It's sort of one of the base life force patterns that most organisms have in some way, shape, or form. Breathing, growing and shrinking with the breath. It's happening in our whole body at a cellular level. So I'm just bringing those ideas into my body. And the thing I keep talking about is this wholeness pattern. And the wholeness pattern is that there's so much possibility. There's a possibility to be strong. There's a possibility to be light and easy. There's a possibility to have flow, free flow, or very bound flow. There's a possibility to be specific, pinpointed, or very indirect. So I'm just working through these different possibilities of movement in my body to give me more possibility of movement in my brain and in my who I amness. Often we learn a lot of fitness and exercise patterns that are designed to help us, but a lot of them have come from very limited thinking, from very rigid patterns. A lot of fitness comes from military exercises. A lot of it comes from dance, which also can be pretty militaristic, and a lot of it comes from sports and athletics, which usually have a specific purpose, and they're not quite so open-ended. So I'm trying to just move in a more open-ended way so that my body hydrates in ways that it wouldn't if I was just doing more linear, planar movements. And while my body is doing that, it also opens up my mind to possibility. So I'm going to play with the horizontal plane right now in my arms. So my arms are playing here in this horizontal plane, and my body and my spine is moving forward and backward in the sagittal plane. Oh, I've come out of it already. Yeah, and now I'm moving into this sort of involution. Everything coming into center and then going out. Ha! Letting my shoulder blades, my spine sort of wake up into more possibility, more movement potential. And I'm going to take it down onto the ground, same thing. And instead of just going up and down, which I do have exercises that we can just do that. I'm going to give it more of an exploratory pattern, more freedom. Oh, this is Anthony's music. And it really invites play and wholeness. So if you think of like a baby, or as I said in the beginning, just coming into your body for the first time and feeling what it's like to be in there. What's possible? What can it do? What feels good? If no one were to tell you, that's wrong, you're doing the wrong thing, it has to be like this, what would you come up with in movement? If you didn't have too many rules and judgments about what your body was supposed to look like, about what your movement was supposed to do, what was supposed to be bent, straight, pointed, extended where. But if you just learned how to move simply by moving and seeing what you could do, what is happening. How do babies learn to move? They learn a lot by watching people, but they also learn by just being in their bodies. If you look at a baby in that early stages of development where they're just starting to be able to track with their eyes or with their hands or reaching out, invite that playfulness and that freedom into your own body. So everyone has this idea that we need to look so young, but they don't want to find it in their bodies. How does it feel for your tissue to have the same resilience and the same hydration that a baby might have? A very young child, a young person, very resilient. They haven't developed the hardening that we tend to develop. And with all of this emphasis on stabilization in fitness, you can see why we've arrived at where we are as a society. When we're rigid in our thinking, we're rigid in our faces, we're rigid in our ideas about how things should be, about how we should work, which isn't a very creative way of being in the world. Check that out. Now, as I said before, you want to move in ways that feel good in your body. So you're not trying to get into things like force yourself into something that you can't do. Find what feels good. And actually, I can do that, and it feels good in my body, but I'm very hypermobile. And there's my showing off moment. So that is one way to think about embodiment. And to think about creating exercises and to think about your workout. The best way to really learn is to question everything and see, could it be like this? Could it be like that? What happened if I was over here? How would that work in my body? How would that express? So I'm going to actually end this video before it ends on me and say thank you so much for watching. And come back. I'm going to be doing a lot of different types of movement, and some of it is going to be very freedom-based, some of them much more form-based. I'm working with Laban movement analysis, Spartania fundamentals. I'm using a lot of ideas behind Emily Conrad's continuum. I am a ballet dancer, and I have extensive background in fitness and dance and somatics, and I'm mixing them all together because to me that is fun and that is life. Cheers!